Forgot a light. Yep, that way everyone. That's a microphone test. Use the coughology method. Okay, you even alive? Alright, seems like YouTube's going to be a little bit slow on the broadcast. Now that everyone's just slow. Okay, here they come. Nikita Neck, Kopaz, Barry. Let's see if I can say the names as fast as they turn up. Shouldn't be too difficult. Not like I'm sporting 1 million subscribers. Yep. Slow time. Alright, well, times are running late, so best I get into it. Hey, Jim, welcome. We've got ourselves a Toshiba Pro R50-C, and I gotta admit, I'm probably doing this one as a gratis job, or at least close to gratis. But the problem we've got is, you see, that's all it does. And it's been doing that no matter what I do, it just keeps doing that. So we'll rip it apart and find out what's going on. Supposedly it went and got fixed by some other tech, and I see they managed to rip out the damn... Oh, that or it's standard. I don't know. Is it standard? Doesn't seem standard. Wow. Seriously. First interesting thing of the night. Someone broke the clips. It's a good start, folks. Okay. At least it blinks. Yeah, I kind of prefer the ones that just don't do anything, because then at least you know you've pretty much got a dead set hard fault and none of this half and half stuff. Let's see, you're gonna be... No, you're not. You're gonna be different. Damn you. I like PC laptops when they've all got the same length screws. But right now we've already encountered got longer ones here. What are you? Yeah, you're a longer. So we've got two shorts. Long. You watch, I'll never remember this. Long. Basically I'm just looking to see now who's the short guys. And of course I'm assuming that the prior tech actually installed it correctly. Yeah, see, like that one's a long one. What's the dealio? It's like they got them mixed up. Hey, Harry. Piston. A pen off. Yeah, this is a real mixed bag. Short. Okay, so the HD 15 port looks like it's got a pair of... No, one short, one long. They really did mix these. Admittingly, these are not the worst for having mixed screw sizes. Typically, Toshiba's quite good. I'd say the worst I've ever encountered was the Sonys and a couple of Lenovo's for the... Funnily enough, for their business machines. I had one that, I don't know, had 5 or 6 different size screws on the bottom plate alone. It was like, what the heck? Probably got dropped, yet. Question is, when did it get dropped? Was it before or after it was fixed? Long ones hold the tab of the keyboard. The thing is, I've got long ones everywhere. It's very inconsistent here. That short one. So like I had a short and then a long, so that doesn't make any real sense there. Let's see, is this a... No, we got... Shit, man. We've got rattly stuff. Sorry, pardon the language, but... God damn. Okay, this is a bottom remove one. Or at least I think it is. Oh, got a screw left. Always know the limits of plastic deformation before it breaks so that you can detect when you have forgotten a screw in enough time to stop you making a mistake. Okay, they've SSD upgraded it. That's not standard. The main board is just floating around. What the heck? Okay, I'd imagine a few of those screws that we took out were meant to hold the main board down. But surely there's got to be a couple that are supposed to still be internal only. Or is this an innovative new design? Let's have a look. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that one there's supposed to... That there is supposed to be internal. We're just basically looking at... Okay, internal, internal, internal. They may not actually meant to be screwed in, but nonetheless. So at the very least, we probably should have had 2 short screws there. They sure can do. These ones don't seem so bad, funnily enough. It's come loose. Let's see if they'll actually tighten down, or... Yeah, it's definitely been thrown down the stairs. Everything's loose. Foot loose. Wow, went in for service and they didn't even clean the fan. Amateurs. The fan's still dirty. Fantastic. Let's put on the extractor. I'm not sure what vintage this is exactly, but it's not that old. It does have Windows 8. Like I said, they've put a 250 Evo, so it's... Yeah, someone was doing the right thing initially. And I don't know how they managed to, like I said, leave a lot of the screws out and break off things, but yeah, okay, it's probably gone for a walk down the stairs. Why do I get the feeling... Oh, that's going to be a... So we've got to work out why this is boot looping. "10-minute tech," haha, very funny 10-minute tech, yeah. Do we have a short? Do we have something else? We'll just disconnect the screen, see if it comes up. The person brought it to me and said, "The screen's faulty," and I'm like, yeah, it seems interesting. They were fairly adamant about it, but I was like, well, I'm going to wait till I pull it apart before I make any assessment on this one. What the heck? How do you go from having dozens upon dozens of Toshiba bricks to realizing you've got no bricks and have to resort to using a whopping great big ASUS all-in-one power supply brick to do the job? Yeah, good thing they got the same connector. Let's see. Well, I got a fan spin. The fan fell out. Fan is spinning and staying spinning. Okay, obviously I'm not going to get a display. But it's interesting, it's spinning and staying spinning. Okay, maybe they just got a weak battery and their charger's no good. That would be funny. Let's plug in the chipmunk and see what happens. It's staying up. So I wonder if there was nothing actually wrong with it. Okay. Shoot, it really does have Windows 7s on it. They weren't kidding. Alright. So what's the deal here? Just a bad battery? BIOS battery, maybe? Although, but yeah, that battery basically has to be permanently attached. Really need to make one of these for the power supply. I don't even know if this has a CMOS battery in it. This is one of the ones that uses the main battery as a reserve. Quite possibly. Hey Ed, Tony, Christian, by the way. Hello. Catherine's here too. Maybe the problem with this is just that it wasn't assembled correctly, well, yeah, because of the screws and everything, and it just needs to be put back together in a way that actually works. Yeah, let's see if we can start Windows normally. Well, that looks like Windows is starting perfectly normally. I think this thing just needed to be pulled apart and reassembled in a way that actually, let's see. Crikey, mouse touchpad is coming out. Try that. Yeah, that's all I think it was. Because there was that rattling screw, so it could have been the screw just sitting on something that it's not supposed to, so that's quite possible. CMOS battery under the white ribbon top left. Oh yeah, you're right, thanks. I think the CMOS battery is probably okay. I think what it was is that first screw that we found, that one little screw, I think that must have been resting on something. Because like I said, it was really, I start turning it around and you hear the rattle, 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 rattle. So I would guess that that would be at least a candidate. Okay, so that's in there. No, lucky if in that case. If that is the case, they're very lucky it didn't do more damage. And we definitely need a screw up there. I don't know where that one's gone. Let's see. Pulls big box of nuts. Well, actually, they're not. They're screws. There's some nuts in there. Take chipmunk off. Why? I'll do it when I reassemble it. These are all bags of screws from laptops that have come and died in this workshop. Just trying to find something that closely resembles what I'm looking for. Can't put cover. Actually, you can with these ones, I think. Yeah, you can with this one. It's not a case where they have put the loop around the port. I know the sort you're talking about. I mean, you're right. In most cases, that is the situation. But it seems like not in this one. Yeah, it's a MacBook screw. 1278. Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing with the other screws too, Sutter. So you already have done that with these hinge screws. You're too slow on the take on that one, buddy. Oh, midget magnets there. Hey, Travis. Don't know why I end up with magnets in these screw containers. It does absolutely nothing good. Yeah. Oh, my loose head screws. Alright, fine. You make a persuasive argument. Oh, what are you? I'm going to compare these. So what is it? So you're about a 5 mil. You're about a 5 mil. You're longer than you seem. The trouble is, most of the ones I've gotten here are 6s. A 1/4 inch. It's not. Try this one. The head's wrong, but the thread and the length should be right. Because one trick you can find out to know if you've inserted a screw that is too long with these marvelous plastic tops is you just have a look on the top, and if you see a little brightened or slightly lighter dimple, that means it was too long and you've ruined the top deck. Visually, at least. So it's the wrong head size, but it'll do the trick. I'm gonna say that these probably are not required. It kind of looks like they might have been keyboard. They do have a thread on the chassis underneath, but there's no marks on the copper, which indicates that I don't think a screw's even been in there. Hey, Yamara, how's it going? Interesting, this is a bit of a generic board. I can see it's got a different interface here for the SATA. Okay. Fans attached. Are you a separate one again? No, you're different. Okay. Funnily enough, if they are through the cover, Arnold, they are leaving buffing marks. So, anyway, the main board is, other than up here, is secure. Interesting. I don't mind that design idea of theirs, to have it such that when you take the bottom off, it frees up the main board. Although one screw, at least 2 screws, is nice to stop it just falling right out. But other than that, I guess I can't complain. Alright. Let's get this thing back together. Not sure what to do about the latches. Maybe I'll just put some clear tape on the back of the battery there and stop them dropping it out. Well, the person would be happy because they were really concerned about the cost. Because they said to me, how much for the screen? I said, well, you know, these sort of things, typically around about 190 Australian. Yeah, that's for the part and fitting. And the person's like, oh, yeah, I don't really want to spend much more money on that. We just had it fixed and all that. And that's when I was like, fixed? I was like, oh, interesting that you want it fixed after it's already... Yeah, it's broken even after it's fixed. What's going on there? Anyway. I'm going to have to just go by feel with the screw placements because I don't think that they were originally in their right places anyway. I think what happened is the person originally just took all the screws out, assumed they were the same, and they're not. Hell, for all I know, there's probably... These might not even be the right screws because we've got a lot of these broadhead ones. Let's see if they actually fit. Yeah, I think what's happened is the screws were lost because the broadhead ones fit just fine. They're longer compared to these 1/4 inch ones. These are 8mm ones. So I'm going to actually put the 8mm broadheads in the hinge area so that they do actually have a proper hold. Christian, that's a 1 hour, yeah, it's a 1 hour charge plus the LCD panel cost replacement. Yeah, I have a feeling these are actually all meant to be broad, the 8mm broads. Mind you, there's a damn heap of the 1/4 inch ones. The thing is, I am not feeling any resistance whatsoever when I do get to the, once the screw head is sitting in and it's flush, it's not like I have to torque it down. There's no protrusion or anything like that, so it makes me think that this is a case of a lot of screws went missing and they've just replaced them with something that had the same pitch and diameter. Yeah, even these ones, same thing. Broadheads are just fine. Although I might stick with the shorter ones for the... The other problem you get is sometimes techs will just take screws out, leave them over the desk, and then just sort of pick their way back together, the reassembly. Yeah, because these are very different. These are like C650L sort of thing type ones. Yeah, that doesn't even fit, that one. How about you? Leaving on to that work the way. Yeah, it's a real shame about those. I want some Captain tape, we'll do it. We'll use Captain tape at the moment, but it's actually not the ideal tape for this sort of thing. You want something like Scotch tape, magic tape. Something that's got a little more adhesion to plastic. A little more goo on it. Captain's very nice, but that's not its primary purpose. I'm just going to do this so that we don't have hiccups when I flip this thing over. Of course, I could be proven wrong. This thing may not work when I power it up now. It may decide that that's the end of the road for it. There's a fault somewhere else. And it was just trolling me all along. Cringe when I see a YouTube clip and the screws are dropped onto the bench top. Yeah, it's a surefire way of getting them mixed up later. Okay. It's not my recommended course of disassembly, unless I know I'm not putting it back together. Okay. Does this even power up? It'll probably flick because it hasn't got... Yeah, it powers up and it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what it was. It was probably just that screw that was rattling around. Now that we put the new screw in, reassembled things correctly, it's good. Let's see, I don't know what the password is. Why are you asking me complicated questions? see, job code. Hey DJ. And interesting refresh mismatch there, but we have a working system. Battery's charging. We're at 91%. Yep, it was a screw. Tom, if they're not going to be reassembled, then I usually have like a bit bucket, a screw bit bucket that it all goes into, much like this thing here. Now, supposedly this was just for, I'm kind of curious to see. Let's see. MS config. Kind of just curious to see what they've done to this. Well, they haven't changed any services. So it's a hide all the Microsoft services, disable everything, turn on Bonjour. That's about it. Oh, wow. This really has not been at all optimized. Wow. Everything was enabled on this. The only reason they were getting away with it was because of the fact that it has the SSD and it's a good one. Oh, okay, Christian. I didn't realize that. Yeah, particularly with things like CFLs. Not CFLs. No, ignore me. I see they've got some screen burn there. Wow. How long has this thing been running with? Dennis, it seems like this person was oblivious. There is screen burn on here. You can see it. It's not the usual keyboard pressure. It's something else. There's a bar up here and a bar there. There must have been... Yeah. What sort of display is this? Is this a... IPS or something? Because it doesn't do the... You know when you press LCD displays? Yeah. If you press LCD displays that have that sort of liquid effect. This one is not doing that. So I'm guessing it's IPS or something. Command run as... Oh wow, they got WinZip in here. What the hell? Okay, that's it. They've gone too far now. That's insulting. Net user administrator active, yes. Exit. Restart. I don't know if they're bruise marks, Tom. I mean, I'm used to bruise marks. I know what you mean by bruise marks. You see them a lot. But that seems more like burn. Because also with bruise marks, you often can see it when this panel is off, just in terms of abrasive effects. Check viewing angles to confirm IPS. No, that's too much work. Okay, administrator. One thing I've noticed, it's got vertical pinstriping. I hate it once you lock in. I mean, it's pretty clear viewing. It's not, the brightness falls off very quickly. Yeah, you can see it up. Funnily enough, yeah, there and there. It looks like there was a picture or something there. Anyway, micropega trend. Oh man, this is just trash. Let's see, CMD. Runs administrator. really not a fan of using laptop keyboards and trackpads for this sort of work. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, okay. Hey, Steve Burridge. No, you're right, Ian. It's certainly not Diablo. It's more dangerous. Let's see, what am I after? Control panel. Uninstall. I hate it when you miss clicking uninstall directly. Okay, very first thing to get rid of is WinZip. How did WinZip even manage to get itself installed on Windows 7, which already had zip built in? This should have had Windows 8 on it, funnily enough. Wow, I'm getting a hot flush here. What is this, menopause? What I'm looking for next is something horrible like QuickTime. Okay, they don't have QuickTime. They've got all this Toshiba trash in here, but yeah, there's not much I can do. SFC scan now. I can understand going from 8 to 7, I do agree, but I would have thought they would have gone to 10 by now. Unless they've got something that they explicitly have to be running here. Well, I'm just going to leave that be and get on with another job. This one's obviously fixed. Just needs some more tender loving care that obviously was not given by the prior technician for whatever reason. Maybe they were upset that it didn't completely die when it got thrown down the stairs. I don't know. As long as you don't find word stuff. No, seriously, I don't know what happened then. I just started feeling really, genuinely what you'd call a hot flush. That was bizarro. Alright, what's next on the list? No power. This, whoa, this is, what is this? Oh wow, 2159, okay. Not my usual kettle, cup of tea, but I really don't encounter these. This is probably maybe the first or the second one of these I've ever had. Flushed with success. Good one, Jim. Manila Barrett? Norton on it? No, they had Trend, which is pretty much just as well. Wild Tangent, of course, yes. Normally I strip out all of the, what do you call it? Manufacturer specific stuff. Let's see actually what's happening first on this one. It says no power, but let's see what the USB 3 says. USB-C rather. Let's get that camera back to a prior position, crotch camish. Power, yep, nothing on that port. 20 volts, 160. It's booting. Okay, what's going on here? Have we got screen gate maybe? 60. This is definitely booting. But I've got no display. And no... nothing. What's going on here? The Ginger Kitty, the one we just had one D6 today, he's doing alright. We've got him closed in the pen at the moment with the others. We would have liked to have kept him in a like about a meter by 1500 cage, but we just couldn't do it. Okay, so we've got it booting, but it's not giving us any display. So I'm gonna check to see if we can get a display by using an adapter and plugging it into our favorite little gym screen, which is not a screen that you look at what the people in the gym are doing. This is not Porky's. Where's the remote? It's HDMI. Why is it no matter how you have your cables set up in your workshop, you never have everything in the right orientation? You always seem to have cables crossing across your legs. Okay, I'm just going to hold the power button down for about 30 seconds, drown the machine, and then I'll power it back up. Okay, so we're down to, we had a drop. Let's see if we can boot. Yeah, male kittens are generally tolerant. We do have to come up with a better solution for the females, though we don't know what we're going to do at this point. Well, I have ideas, but that's lots and lots of money ideas. Let's see if the chipmunk works in these. No chipmunk power, okay. Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm not really sure what's going on here. That's right, I don't think the chipmunk actually works through this. Yeah, let's get it apart and find out what's going on. See if there's anything obvious. Surely it should be a warranty job. I'm not sure, maybe there's another precondition or something behind it. It looks like it's been opened up already. Oh, now it's got a... Thankfully it didn't scratch. I'm impressed. There's already other scratches on it. It's not too late now. Oh, I wonder if... But this isn't the model that you do that on normally. With the 1708s, is it? No, not 1708. 17... What's the other one? The one where people often run the spudger down the side and end up killing the board. I always forget which model that is. It's interesting, it's got a similar sort of layout to the 1708. If you just cut that out, We've got liquid damage in here. It's not a lot, but we don't need much. Why did you not switch over automatically? Yeah, there are fingerprints there as well. Like I said, I'm fairly sure this has been inspected prior. I'm just going to get the soldering mat out because it's quite good at sticking. Yeah, we've got liquid damage in here. Definitely. So you can see there. Doesn't seem all the way in. Not that it matters, I'm pretty sure that's just a speaker. Yeah, that's good. What is this? A 1598. Scope can died? God damn. It's one of those days, eh? There we go. Eight two zero 001598. That's right, eh? Oh one. Whoops, not 00. You guys not being able to be backseat drivers might be actually the most beneficial thing to my success rate. Interesting, I've got this cover here, maybe to try and... I don't know what they were doing there. I was thinking maybe they're going to try and protect the connector from liquid ingress, but nope, that's not it. I say we have to take the board out and see what's going on. Because while there are indications of liquid here and there, it's not really enough for the... Yeah, it's got to come out. This is certainly not going to be a warranty job, no matter what. You can dream, but it's not going to happen. And there's, fingerprints galore everywhere. By the way, be really careful with these battery flexes. I've had a couple of cases now where they've been fatigued, broken. And it can lead you to get all sorts of weird battery issues. And it just ends up being that flex. Hey, Dwigmans. Crazy J, yeah, well, kind of not really. The Toshiba ended up not being so much an electronics fault, but just a wayward screw. Didn't entirely fix itself, but it wasn't far off. Okay, that has been installed after the fact. I know because I've done it myself doing that. Try to squeeze it in there. Because you don't want to have to take the whole mainboard back out just so you can put that rubber shroud on. Interesting that they've changed the colour of the heads on these screws for a few of them. We've got silver and black now. I'm just taking it easy. I'm fairly sure I have not, in fact, pulled apart one of these before, it seems. I have no memory of this board. What's this? I have MacBook Air 1466 2015. Doesn't respond to power button. Check with another logic board. It all works. There's a few different reasons for that. I'll leave it to you to find out because I'm not going to answer that one. Sorry. That one's one that you should be able to Google for. That said, there are a lot of possibilities. So that's going to be your real challenge, is working out which ones are legit and apply to your situation. Interesting screw. Damn you T4s. Still mixing it up, T4, T5, throw in a T8 here and there, just for good measure. Ah, scope. Thank you. I'm not sure why that's not switching. Just give me a second. Compass switch. Let's see if that works now. Just give me a sec. No. Why you no work compass switch? What are you, Lewis Rossman programmed or something? Weird. Okay, let's try this again. No. Something funky going on. No, it's not the cable. It is actually reporting correctly. Just give me a tick. I'm just going to restart OBS. Famous last words. No, the multimeter just glitched because I covered the window with something. Okay, let's see if this... Am I back? Yeah, it was OBS that was giving me the grief. It wasn't my software after all. Not this time, at least. Okay, we've got a secret little cable down here. Are we ready to come out yet? Or we've got more traps? It's extremely reminiscent of a 1708, and I can see liquid splatter in here too, which is around the Wi-Fi area. Fantastic. Just what I need. Alright, the air conditioner can come off. It's starting to chill me to the bone. Hey RTC, how's it going? Haven't seen you for a while. I guess you've been busy, eh? Okay, let's see. Yep, definitely. Oh, yep. Yep. Yeah. This is quite a bit of liquid damage, and it looks like it's been washed away partially. So, while there is a fair amount of low-level liquid damage, we're looking for a smoking gun. Ooh, look, 9240 intersil. Please tell me you didn't get any damage, because I do not have any replacements of those. And that's quite an expensive gamble too. Another thing I've noticed is this is bent up. I mean, it got yanked up a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and see now with the screen disconnected if it will actually generate a screen output. Damn it, I need that connector. Anyone know if the pinout is standardized between models for this USB-C connectors? For these things? Or whether they do change in between models? I suppose that would be something I should work out myself by just opening up boardview and schematic and having a look, rather than expecting other people to do my dirty work. It just wouldn't be right if I didn't get other people to do my dirty work. At least they have improved the feel of the USB-C Connect. Yeah, before it used to feel like they would just fall right out if you moved the laptop slightly. At least now they definitely have a bit of a lock-in feel, which is good. Change the screen. Okay, now wait. Hey English, how's it going? This is boot looping. I go 5 volts, 20 volts, 5 volts, 18 volts, 5 volts. It's all over the place. Let's try this one. 5 volts, 20 volts, 7 volts, 10 volts. What the heck is this thing doing? This is all over the place. There's no consistency whatsoever. I don't know what to think of that. I'll try it without the extra bits on it and see if that changes its behavior. Come on, spin this around, right round. Oh, that's weird. It's staying at 20 volts, but only 120 milliamps, 100 milliamp. So it's not doing a full boot. Not even trying. Let's try another port. Not sure why it would have been doing that weird voltage cycling it was doing just before. 20 volts, 160, 120, 110, 120. Yeah, it's a bad story. CPU's cold. Nope. Okay, let's have a look around a bit more. Okay, this has definitely been through some tech work here. See all these? They're probe points. 3217s. Well, we get up to 20 volts, so I'm kind of thinking that they must be doing their job, or at least getting there. Actually, I think I just remember now with this job that yeah, it was actually sent to me as a prior repair. Whoops, just remembered that now. Sorry, it was already agreed upon that it was a prior repair, which is why it was probably assembled in a quick manner. So no fault of the original person. Sorry. They're probably going, damn it, man, I told you. Now you've just insulted my honor. Yeah, there's some grunge going on down there. What are you? I have no idea what that chip's for. Oh, I'm just pretty sure I've got this board. I'll probably be wrong. I got 1521. Oh, I need 1598. Alright, I do not have this board. Yeah, 1598 looks nothing like the 1521. Whoops. Right, so basically I have no idea what this chip is. 95C 6FDI. C6FDI. Ah, yes, I remember Pionov, that person posting up and saying there was no board view yet. I remember that now. Thank you. So this may not be. Okay, I've got another one of these chips here. I'm starting to wonder whether there's some sort of. No, I'm not going to guess what chip it is. I'm just seeing if any of my existing board views have it. Hey, PC Fix. Always throw it in the ultrasonic and pray. Oh, here we go. Here's a smoking gun. Right under the CPU. Yeah, maybe not so much. It looked more dramatic than what it really is. Still, it's not good if you got that sort of stuff going on down there in that area, because that's what is that? That's T2 support stuff. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, what are you? What's happened here? I think what they might have been doing is running around trying to find a short. And I don't blame them for that. I'll be doing that too. So let's try that as well. See if we can pick up where they left off. Let's see. I got 10 ohms set for my This is the nice thing, at least with this new multimeter, is that I can set my threshold. Like I basically can just program whatever threshold of resistance I want. So at the moment I've got it set at 10 ohms. So anything less than 10 ohms it'll beep. You gotta be kidding me. Look at you, you're beaten to hell and you want to tell me you're not. So we're just gonna run around and try our luck. It's not gonna really help that much, but this is another CD32. I'm just looking for anything that's got a bit of corrosion on it. Let's see. It did look like a trace blowout, but yeah, see, look, there's more corrosion here. So there. I'm not sure what that is. So many of these parts I have no clue as to what they are. So a swim in the ultrasonic might help, but then again it might make things worse. In the sense of we'll lose all our hints. On the other hand, okay, that resistor there, I bet you it's just going to come off. Yep, that's moving on its own there. Here's the fun thing is, we have no idea what it is, but it's definitely moving on its own. We'll try and rescue it. We can't get rid of it because we don't know what its value is going to be. There are so many of these little things. I think they're little like gates, OR gates or such. They've all got this corrosion. Bugger. Crap. Where did that resistor go? Anybody? Oh, there it is. Keith, unfortunately, yes, there is a delay on the meter, and it is a little bit painful. I am used to extremely fast continuity testing, and this meter is slow on that. I'll definitely say that. It's a downside. I would love to be able to reflash the code on this, because, I mean, there's already a defect in the code that we know of that we've had to code around. Yeah, none of this is looking too grand. I'm trying to be real careful here. I don't want to knock the end cap off that resistor. I do worry though that even if I get this thing booting, what are the chances that there's going to be other latent issues hanging around just waiting to pop up? I guess we'll attack what we can. Okay, it looks like there is a bit of living end cap on there, so we should be able to get that back down. Assuming I don't stuff it up. They're definitely not the greatest condition, but we should have electrical contact. Crap. Alright, bring in the hot air. Chip next to the resistors that are partially moved on their own. What does the text say? Not quite sure. OEO 74. Yeah, but that's probably a manufacturing date code or something annoying. I'll get to that in a second. Let me first clear out this issue. Okay, that's a lot healthier looking. There's going to be numerous entities around this board looking at pretty much like that. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with my Macs. I mean, as you know, I'm a Linux user, so if anyone's going to be anti-Apple or anti-Mac, it would be a Linux type person, because Apple is by far one of the greater offenders of the whole open source type thing. I mean, Microsoft made some pretty bad moves, but Apple is so closed up and proprietary, it flies in the face of Richard Stallman's worst nightmares sort of thing. But I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with the gear. I use a 1502 for my everyday laptop. I use a 1466 for a fair few things. I don't mind them. And I mean, I've got a 27-inch 2013 that I use as my Linux workstation. Agreeably, I never paid full price for them. But in terms of hardware, I'm content with them. At least with the laptops, I can actually fix them. That's still quite marginal, but I'm gonna have to just be happy with that. Yeah, I mean, like the 1502, I've opened it up, it runs, it does everything I need, it doesn't give me issues. Yeah, I've got no complaints about it. If a tool performs the task that you request of it, then what more do you need? I mean, I've had lots of Windows laptops, I mean, many years. And I gotta say, the 1466s and 1502s are the first time I've actually felt like, I actually don't mind these pieces of machine. Probably the only other thing that came close was a Lenovo or IBM machine I had. But even that I had some dramas with. Damn it, you're plugged upside down, Paul. So apologies if you're not going to be able to see this. I can't see on the screen where now it's doing the whole 20 volt 15. It's just weird. It's very weird. More weird that it stays 20, 12. It's still staying at about the 120 milliamp. I need to put. So that wasn't it. That would have been a fault that we would have found elsewhere later, but that wasn't the one that's stopping it from booting. PC fix? I don't think so. It's not like we repaired the. It's not like we repair the Intel chips anyway, so there's still going to be these sort of issues that come up. You're still going to have liquid damage, capacitors, resistors, pins are going to get corroded, they're going to need repairing. There are going to be some scenarios that we no longer will be able to repair, but overall I think it's going to still be just as much of a repair market as it ever was. I also think that the belief that the ARM's performance is going to beat the hell out of Intel AMD stuff is overstated. They're very good at singular type tasks, but when you try multitasking them, like really doing normal PC desktop stuff, then they do tend to suffer a bit. They don't handle context switches quite so nicely. And we've got corrosion galore under there. Which is why they're great for things like iPads, iPhones, etc. Raspberry Pis. I mean, if you look at the latest Raspberry Pi, it's not bad, but it still doesn't have the punch that a desktop PC has. Most of the performance gains that you probably get from Apple in terms of if they're trying to promote their performance in videos and statistics will be probably when they're offloading the processing of something to an ASIC of some sort, i.e. things like let's encode video, and it's like, well, rather than make the ARM processor do it, let's just hand it off to a chip that's dedicated to doing it. That's kind of how they're probably going to get away with it a fair bit. So you kind of have this divergence away from the whole single processor to do everything, and we're going back to let's use dedicated units to handle specific tasks, and then the CPU if we haven't got anything to do it otherwise. And like I said, that can work in a controlled environment, and Apple is a controlled environment, so there's possibilities there. Hey Nick, well you missed the Toshiba fix, yes, which wasn't really a fix. It was just a case of I had to get a screw that was rattling around out. I'm just looking for some more little defects like what we saw before. If I can't find anything, then I'm going to start flux and boiling areas that look like they've got liquid damage. Yeah, Christian, that's precisely it. If they don't have a core built in for that particular task, then and it falls back to the general purpose CPU, then yeah, that's when they're going to suffer. And that's why the x86 is such a popular chip, because it has a lot of performance as a general purpose device. And sure, if you need even more performance, you can go along and make yourself a application specific integrated circuit. Bravo, and attach it on, maybe have it as a daughter board or an external device or whatever. But as general purpose computing goes, then these days, the x86 pretty much is king. Or I should say x86 64. Might give this area a bit of a... This is a CD3217, so I'm just going to give this a bit of a clean up. I could take that cap off and have a guess at what it's going to be. I'd say it's probably going to be the same as the one next to it, because they look like two separate lines, probably two separate LDOs or something like that. So I'm going to guess whatever that lower one is, the top one's going to be the same. Okay, Jim, thanks for dropping in. Sorry I didn't get to chat to you much. Unfortunately, when I have to think about these jobs, that's when I stop talking to or responding to comments. I don't even know if these 3217s have a different different ball grid array setup compared to the 3215s, whether they're the same. Not that I want to put a 3215 on there, but just meaning if I do take it off, I want to be able to reball it. Hello, Bocker. I might actually focus on just getting this cap off, like so. Interesting, that one actually let go itself. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we'll measure the capacitance of that one. I'm going to say... probably 4.7 or 10. Yeah, Barry. Well, there is a schematic, but I haven't got it yet. I mean, I know where it is, but I haven't got it. But really a board view and schematic is more like what I want. Okay, let's go capacitance and see what we can come up with. Oh, come on, you can do better than that. There we go, it's a 10 microfarad. I know it says 9 millifarad there, but that's 0.009, but that's 10 microfarad. So 10 microfarad in that size, we'll want probably 25 volts maybe. We could try 16, see that it doesn't blow up. But yeah, I'd say the top one is the same. If they were on the same bus, I would be slightly less inclined to think they'd be the same. But since they're on separate traces, I'm going to say they're the same. Or at least close enough. I mean, with capacities... with capacitance, you can get away with a lot of variation. Oh, yummy steak, that's another way of doing it. That's probably the smarter way. But I don't want to be smart. I want to be popular. Unfortunately, the downside with capacitors is that you have no way of non-destructively really measuring their voltage rating. And even if you do decide to go the destructive route, you still don't have a guarantee that you get it right. Hey, Micromage. Let's see. What are you guys? You're 402s, I think. That look 402? That looks 402 to me. Actually, you know, it'd be easier if I just look at the damn schematic. I just have to get the schematic. It looks like 603, but believe me, it's 402. But there is no way that is not a 603. Surely. It looks like an oversized... Let me get a 402 cap compare. Pretty damn sure it's 402. We're gonna have a war now. I'm gonna be wrong because okay. Yeah, that's 402. These are 402s. That looks 402 to me. Anyway, I've got to find the schematic for this now. Which means I've got to go to bad caps. 820 1598. Ooh, there's a power sequence diagram. Thanks, Pernov. Alright, so we've got the schematic, and what are we looking for? CD3217s. I would say, yeah, these are the ones we're looking for up here. The fun thing here is that so we've got a 10, which actually would infer the other one's a 1, but it's a 35 volt rated. Oh, that is a major pain in my posterior. Could be a 2.2. Oh, it's a no stuff. Could be a 10. There's no real way of knowing. The only real way, let's see if we can derive what pin number it might be coming from. It'd be nice if I had a donor board, then I could actually pull off the chip and have a look. Let's see, microscope. Yeah, they do have the size there in the 402s, yeah. Okay, so what I'm wondering is, these are fairly close, so it's probably going to be on the edge here. And I'm guessing this is pin A1 down here. So it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be what? Looks like there's 22 pins. So it'd be like D or C 22. 10 microfarad. See if we go with this here, then it's a 10 microfarad 6.3. These ones here, there's far too many pins connected. What are they? They're all like midway, middle and middle, so it's like in there. I would say that those capacitors are actually on the other side of the board. Then again, maybe not, because there's a chip there. Alright, so much for that theory. Well, we've only got 4 402s around it. Yeah, let's have a look at the other one. And the arrangement is different. Sort of. It's probably that one there. They've got an additional one here, I'm not sure what that's for. So if we were to guess, we'd say that one there. Alright, let's do that. Fine, let's succumb to peer pressure. Are you all happy now? Forced my hand. Is that chip underfilled? No, that's not. It's thankfully. Had enough of underfilled chips, thanks very much. I'm just going to put some leaded solder on there so that it will jump off a bit quicker. Let's see, range 50 microfarad. I don't want to, no, I don't want to pull the chip, just in case it's got a BGA pattern that I can't replace. I mean, I do have a lot of generic stencils, but you can bet your boots it's going to be my bad luck. It probably isn't, but it's one of those Schrodinger's scenarios. If I take it off, it'll have a pattern that I don't have. If I don't take it off, it'll have a pattern that I did have. Ah, thanks folks. Yep. There we go. Okay, here we go. So it's about a 10 microfarad. So this is definitely a 10 microfarad. Given that it's a 10 microfarad, it's not going to be a 20 volt rated, thank God. Because this CPU either got a 6.3, 6.3, 6.3. Looks like they're all 6.3s. So we should be good. We can do 10, 6.3. I have 10 10s, but I'll use a 6.3 because I also have those. And this may be slightly ESR sensitive, slightly. There we go. Wait, it's on the 1706? Wait, does the 1706 use the 3217s? I thought it used the 3215s. Or what are you looking at on the 1706? Oh, don't tombstone on me, you blighter. Yeah. Oh, okay, so, alright, that's interesting. That's useful to know that they have the same layouts. Thanks. Pilnov jumps in with the full technical details. Okay, so that being that's that would have been our 3v3 RTC. So that's an important one. Very important. And I need to do some turbo cooling. What do you mean? The camera's fine. If you're still at the stage where the camera's not working, hit refresh and catch up. Because that was quite a while ago. Alright, let's see what I can do this time. Actually, I can do a quick test. Because we need to sort of get to the 500-600 milliamp boot current anyway. Come on, get on. There we go. Mm, 120, 110, 120. Still not booting. I'd say before, now it's down to 80, 140, 130, 120, yeah. I'd say before when it was showing those higher currents, it was probably because it might have been doing battery charging or something. Alright, so that didn't solve that. It was probably another problem fixed before we got to the point where it was a problem, but doesn't fix the boot issue. Which, yeah, not sure what to think. Guess we'll just keep looking, do we? What's the time? It's already past midnight. I'm probably going to have to wrap this up. We had the one success so far tonight, even though it wasn't really the sort of success that makes you feel warm and cozy inside. It was more like a, alright, fair enough. Kind of like a defeatist success. I love how they're sticking these random parts at random angles nowadays. Okay, that looks like it's a bit messed up. I'm just going to pop that off and have a look. It could be an important signal line, it could be nothing. Interesting to note that there's a speck of something. That was a bit of speck of solder. Yeah, there's a fair bit of gunk under there. Please note, pin 1 was down the bottom left, assuming I don't change my orientation. You can actually tell that the pad is marked as pin 1. See, it's got a little bit of a bevel on the bevel or chamfer, take your pick. And that lets you know. But the thing is, they don't always do that. This is a fairly generic chip though, I'm fairly sure. VP9VD. I'm pretty sure you see them around. They're just general logic gates. I'm just going to pull out a 165 and have a look at it. Wow, nice going. Just drill a hole right through all possible useful parts. Bravo. Yeah, these are actually a bit different. The code on them would tend to tell you what type of logic gate they are. But obviously I don't have one there. I'm just going to check a more recent board like a 1708. Oh man, this is a terrible donor. Actually, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, terrible donor. V7. What was the one mine? V9 or something? Here we go. VP 6 HP. Close. Hey, yeah. Yeah, he was getting out of control. Oh, were they? So they couldn't squeeze through. Maybe we should put a, like maybe I can break one line of the wire, so it produces a slightly larger hole that normal cats still can't get out of, but they can get in and out of. Maybe I can put that near the gate. Yeah, alright, well thanks for keeping a check on them. So everything's... Good.
But there was someone came up. I have a feeling it was the ginger because honey flew at it.
Oh, good. Yeah. I mean, bad that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've been out there for about 20 minutes just
Oh,
to.
okay. Oh, that's good of you. So, I'm almost finished wrapping up. I'm just dealing with the idiots on YouTube and yeah.
Say hi.
Say hello. Hi, idiots.
And ours are all good.
Sorry.
And ours
Ours
are
are
all
good.
good.
Okay, thanks. VP6HF. Alright, now I gotta remember where the heck I put that. Oh no. Look for where the flux is, but unfortunately that's not gonna help because there's flux everywhere on this board. Aha. Yeah, so this is a VP9VD. Now, unfortunately, hey, is that a trace break? Is that what you were talking about? That looks. That can sometimes look like a broken trace, but that cap actually does look bad. See, it's got a chip out of it. So yeah, good spotting, whoever said that. Hey Greg, good to see you there. Well, 460, so can't blame that. But that certainly needs a clean up. So I don't lose this one so quickly, I'm going to put some ultraviolet pen mark on it. And at least I can find it if required. In the meantime, we have to clean this one up. Getting stuck in the flux there. Ah, solder bridge. You lie, you lie. You're like the person who offered me a couple of bitcoins, and it turns out they were lying through their teeth, of course. And in the end, yeah, it was probably a joke, but it kind of came off a little bit not at the right time. Maybe next time they'll time it better, but yeah. I was like, what now? They did end up. They did make a contribution, like I said. I think it was just a joke that I took a bit wrong. It's okay. Obviously, I'm not referring to you people as the people that I'm talking about. Yeah. Welcome to Australian humour, which is really just really shoddy social behaviour, disguised as humour. Well, we'll flux some bullets and see what's happened to that track. It could be just random junk on the track. It could be a fault in the track. You can't really tell. I think it's just junk, but yeah, it's just junk. Bit of flux and heat, and all of a sudden it looks perfectly clean again. You gotta love how deceptive that is. But there is junk coming out from underneath the chip. I'm all cantankerous because I actually probably am in the mood for some sort of toasted sandwich, and I don't think I've got anything to eat. So I'm starting to suffer a bit of hangry responses here. Azio, thank you very much. Thank you for the shotty humour. Yes. Solid Australian humour. Like I said, we just attribute it to being our humour, really. We're just terrible at it. And it's like, you don't understand us, man. Ow, that's actually pretty hot. Let's cool it down in a hurry. That's how you know when someone is comfortable with you, when they can basically abuse you. That's the way of showing their affection, their comfort. The more you get abused, the more comfortable they are with you. Please don't take that in a serious context, though, of course. If people are getting abused and legitimately abused, then please don't put up with it. Okay, this needs a bigger display. 140, 150, 120, 140, 120, 140, 170, 130, 140, 150. It's not really doing much, is it now? How disappointing. Still no win. We haven't looked at the top side much, I guess because all the corrosion seems to be on the bottom side. Eric. Well, yes, I mean, a lot of Australian humour does come from the pub. Not that I ever am down there. It's not my place of choice. In fact, I don't even drink alcohol. Used to, don't anymore. Takes a while to give up the habits, I gotta tell you that much. Okay. It looks like the person was definitely running around trying to find a short. And like I said, I don't blame him. That's exactly what I would do too. And unfortunately, although it's about 2 watts of power, it's not going to show up. Most of that's probably just being used within the chips. It's not really... I am going to flush that out with some flux though, because that is definitely suffering a bit of liquid damage under that chip. Oh, crikey. Fume extractor. It's definitely reflowed. Wasn't there a second one that had similar looking gunk under it? Bit of corrosion there. This might be a case of putting it through the ultrasonic tomorrow. They look nasty, but they're okay. They're just... And there's so many of them there, it's not an issue. I think this had a bit of gunk under it. These can be tricky little buggers. Pin 1, top left. Unfortunately, it's got a leg design that lets you know, so that's good. Hey Warren, Stamps, how's it going? Steve K, yeah, that chip I reflowed before was a ball BGA chip. Pray to God I don't lose this. It's like, well, so long, chip. There's just so many possible areas where, there's trouble being created. I really didn't like the fact that there was junk under here. This is underneath the T20. T2 rather. Five people dislike the stream already. That's hilarious. Well, it's good to know I've got a dedicated crew of people who will put the effort into clicking that button to let me know that they weren't happy with it. That's good. That's putting your mouse where your mouth is. Could be damage on the backside under the CPU. Well, CPU's there. That whole area, it's sort of... There's no real liquid damage in this zone. It's more over here. Oh, shoot. I hate it when I do that. Yeah, I know Lewis complains about this all the time. "12, 13, 10, 13. No, it's not going anywhere. Still the same issue. So it gets up to about 150, 170 at the most, then as far as I can tell, we should be pushing up to the region of 400 or 500 at least. Maddie, I'm usually using 460 and 110 with a 8 or 9mm nozzle for MacBooks. Results may vary. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, depending on the calibration of your unit, how old it is, what your weather's like, all that sort of stuff, it's going to change. But that's kind of your starting points. But this person's gone around and they've tried hard to find out what's going on in terms of looking for a short. And while we found a couple of issues, we certainly don't seem to have found the one causing the issue, the main fault, which of course is not boot. Ow! Broke my finger almost. Do you think that maybe the connector might be part of the trouble? No, it's entirely possible. Although it is getting 20 volts, so the signaling must be right. I mean, it is full of junk now. But even still, that should still work. We'll give it a wash out, but I don't think that is the fault. Goodness knows how many times I've used very fluxed up connectors like that. Unless there is a fault within the connector, but I have my doubts. It's got no real indications of any corrosion. Likewise, I don't think the pins do. See, they're all pretty good. I mean, maybe it's faulty, but usually you see that manifest as a case of it won't get beyond the 5 volts or anything like that. Not to say it's not faulty. What about looking under the taped regions? I could, but I've never, blah 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 blah, I have not yet seen any corrosion around the perimeters of them at all. Not that that's a good indication. I know there's been plenty of iPhones where you think, that's got no corrosion under it. You lift up the shield and all of a sudden it's just all in there. You're like, whoops. I had one like that the other day actually. It was an iPhone 8. It burned its way through about 3 layers of board before it stopped. Okay, well, let's try with the screen again, which means I lose my visual of everything. It is interesting that when I plug this in, it won't hold 20 volt, or it wasn't before. 20. Yeah, this is, now it's going 25, 25. For some reason, with this plugged in, it really does not like that. I'll just see whether it's because it's the HDMI or not. So just disconnect the HDMI. Go back to 5. It doesn't like this. This is a Mac approved one. And it goes even to 9 volts. It's all over the place. It's crazy. I'll try a different connector. 6 volts, 5 volts, 10 volts, 5 volts. It has no clue what it's doing. I'll try a different one. Maybe for whatever reason there is a unique reason that's not working. I just don't know if any of these are Mac approved or not. Hey Victor Young. I'm pretty sure these are not Apple approved. Damn it. Can't even get my thingamajig in. Yeah, this is also making it dance around. That's interesting. Maybe I can try and power off that and plug the HDMI in. But it's definitely not liking being plugged in like this. Okay, we'll put the HDMI in. Downside is I don't know what current it's taking. So now we have to just wait. I could plug it into the... Maybe I should do that. Yeah, Corey, ultrasonic might fix it. We've still got no signal anywhere, so I'm just going to plug this in at the actual brick. Let's see what it's doing. That's crazy. With that plugged in, it's only drawing 80 milliamps, even though it's the 8070. That's really different. Disconnect this and try this. $40, $60, $50. No, it's just downright weird. Zero. I've got no idea. As it's getting the right voltage, but it's just not. Yeah. Just not booting up properly. Or at all. Joy. It would be that the 3217s that approve the thing is plugged in, right? So maybe it's only... Well, that's that HDMI, the original adapter. Like I said, it was an Apple approved one. I mean, I paid extra for that. And it works very well on all the other machines. Yeah, Malmaki, unfortunately the Toshiba is done and done. Move heatsink into suffer crack CPU. I hope you're not right. Let's have a look. I mean, what else have we got to lose at this point? Other than an ultrasonic. Hopefully this is not using that bizarro thick paste that they have on some of these new machines. It's possible, AJ, yes. I guess what we've got compounding the issue is that we definitely have some notable liquid damage as well. The CPU looks intact. The paste is okay too. It's not the stuff that I don't like. Yeah, I'm not seeing any indications of failure of the CPU. But yeah, it could be firmware related. Although, should you get a... I don't have any experience with the T2 in terms of reflashing and stuff like that, but should you get a screen or anything with the T2 firmware corruption? Or is it just a dead machine? Fortunately, I've got a few Macs, so I can always reflash it if I have to. However I do that. I guess I got some learning to do. And given that there was junk under the T2 area, it is corrosion is a not corrosion, corruption is a viable option. But I think for now, closing up for the night is the better option. And yeah, get some sleep and get some work done tomorrow. We've done everything we realistically can before we start making more mistakes than what we fix. It's the smart thing to do. Hey, ZX. Yeah. On Rossmann co-stream, T2 needs a reset, mostly 60 milliamps steady. I'm not sure the mistake. I mean, funnily enough, when I have the meter plugged into the brick and it's coming into here, I get 50, 60, but it's still wandering all over the place. It's not steady. It still does wander. But when I plug it into here, it shows a much higher. It's confusing. Yeah, 70, 40, 50, 40, 50. So yeah, it's going up and down a moderate percentage. 60, 50, 40. I'll talk to, I'll see if I can get a hold of Rossmann. Waste his time. Why not? Rather than asking the internet where all that information probably already exists. No, far more effective to just waste his time. Certainly a lot more fun. Alright. Okay, well, we're going to close it off at that. I'm sorry it's not a, yeah, woohoo, we got a fan spin type scenario. But it's the way it goes most days in the tech workshop. That's life for you. Can't everything be a win, as it were. So I'm out of here. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you for the contributions, and I will maybe see you tomorrow. I'm not sure. Things are pretty busy. I've got to catch up. Got to clear some backlog before people start coming at me with knives and pitchforks. See how it goes. Anyway, you'll take care. I'll see you next time.